Your doctor may never say this to you in one short appointment, not because the warning is unimportant, but because the truth takes longer than 15 rushed minutes. There are 7 things countless adults over 60 do every week, sometimes every day, believing they are harmless, practical, or simply part of getting older. But those habits can quietly steal strength, balance, memory, sleep, and independence faster than most people realize. Blood pressure creeps higher, legs feel weaker on the stairs, nights become lighter and more broken. A small stumble turns into a frightening fall. A little fatigue becomes the kind of exhaustion that changes your whole day. And the hardest part is this: many of these habits did not seem dangerous at 50. Your body tolerated them. It recovered. It compensated. After 60, that margin gets smaller. The body becomes less forgiving, and small routines start leaving bigger consequences. I have sat with many older adults who were doing everything they believed they were supposed to do. They took their prescriptions, they tried to eat better, they went to appointments, they listened carefully, and still, they kept telling me the same story. I do not feel as steady. I do not feel as sharp. I do not feel like myself anymore. When we looked closely, the answer was often not one dramatic mistake. It was 2 or 3 ordinary habits repeated so often they had become invisible. That is what this video is here to change. On Wellness Daily, I am your doctor, and today I am walking you through 7 things adults over 60 should stop doing immediately. We are counting down from number 7 to number 1, and number 1 is the habit that causes the most damage because it sounds wise, mature, and responsible, even while it delays help when help matters most. If you are over 60, or if someone you love is, stay with me all the way to the end. The habit doing the most harm right now may be the one you have defended for years without ever questioning it. Before we start, ask yourself something honestly. How many of your daily routines are basically the same as they were 20 years ago? The way you wake up, the way you move through the house, the way you eat, the way you rest, the way you explain aches, dizziness, or tiredness to yourself. Most people change far less than they think. But the body you live in, at 65, 72, or 81, does not respond like the body you had at 45. The rules change, the timing changes, the recovery changes, your habits have to change with them. Leave a comment below and tell me which daily routine worries you most. I read every one. Let us begin the countdown. Number 7. Stop avoiding morning sunlight. This sounds almost too simple to matter, which is exactly why so many people ignore it. Many older adults wake up, stay indoors, turn on the television, and spend the first hours of the day under dim artificial light. It feels comfortable. It feels normal. But after 60, that habit quietly disrupts 2 systems you can no longer afford to neglect: your sleep cycle and your stability. Morning sunlight is one of the strongest signals your brain uses to set your internal clock. When bright light reaches the eyes early in the day, the brain gets the message that daytime has begun. That signal helps regulate alertness, mood, blood pressure rhythms, and the release of melatonin later that night. Without enough morning light, the body clock drifts. Sleep gets lighter, bedtimes get unpredictable, afternoon fatigue gets worse, and when sleep quality declines, balance, reaction time, and memory usually decline with it. There is another reason this matters. Adults who stay indoors too much often move less, feel less energetic, and become more cautious with walking. That caution seems safe, but over time it creates deconditioning. Legs lose power. The brain gets less practice coordinating movement. Confidence shrinks. A simple change can start reversing that pattern. Within an hour of waking, step outside for 10 to 20 minutes if you safely can. Sit on a porch. Walk to the mailbox. Stand near a window with direct daylight if going outside is difficult. Let your eyes and brain register real morning light. Many people notice steadier energy during the day and better sleep within a week. And coming up next is a habit that feels careful, even sensible, yet sends many older adults to the floor every year. Number 6. Stop standing up too fast. This is one of those habits people rarely think about until the room spins. You sit in your favorite chair for a while, or you lie in bed a little longer than usual, then you stand up quickly and try to start walking before your body has caught up. At 40, you probably got away with that. After 60, it can become dangerous. Blood pressure control changes with age, so does hydration, circulation, and how quickly your nervous system adjusts when you change positions. If you rise too fast, blood can momentarily pool in the lower body before the brain gets what it needs. The result may be dizziness, blurred vision, weakness, or that strange hollow feeling in the chest that makes you reach for the wall. Even a few seconds of instability is enough to cause a serious fall, especially in the bathroom or beside the bed. What makes this more important is that many adults over 60 take medications that can amplify the effect. Blood pressure medicines, sleep aids, some antidepressants, and even dehydration from not drinking enough earlier in the day can all make sudden standing riskier. The solution is not complicated, but it has to become automatic. Before you stand, pause. Sit at the edge of the bed. Move your ankles. Take one slow breath. Put both feet firmly on the floor. Stand, then wait 2 seconds before taking your first step. If you often feel lightheaded, mention it at your next appointment instead of assuming it is nothing. That symptom gives useful information. At number 5, we are going to talk about something people put on their feet every single day that quietly increases fall risk, room by room. Number 5, stop wearing unsafe shoes and loose slippers inside the house. Many older adults are careful outside and careless indoors. They wear supportive shoes to appointments, to the store, even to church, then come home and switch into backless slippers, worn sandals, socks on smooth floors, or shoes with soft, uneven soles. It feels relaxing. It feels harmless. But the home is where many falls actually happen, not because the house is dangerous by itself, but because the feet are no longer getting the support, grip, and stability they need. After 60, the feet often become less sensitive. Toes may not grip the floor as well. Balance reactions get slower. A slipper that slides half an inch can be enough to throw off your center of gravity before your body has time to correct. I have seen people blame the rug, the hallway, the dog, the poor lighting, when the real problem started with what was on their feet. Good indoor footwear should have a closed back or secure fit, a non-slip sole, and enough structure to keep the foot stable during turns. If you shuffle because you are afraid of falling, flimsy footwear makes that habit worse, and shuffling itself increases trip risk. Check the bottoms of your favorite house shoes today. If they are smooth, bent, or loose, retire them. That one decision may protect your hips, wrists, and confidence more than you think. Next is a habit many people call self-management, even though it can hide a worsening problem for months. Number 4, stop treating over-the-counter pain medicine like a daily solution. This one is very common because it feels practical. Knees hurt, so you take something. Back feels stiff, so you take something. Shoulder aches, so you take something. A tablet here, another one there, and after a while the routine feels so ordinary you stop noticing it. But after 60, regular unsupervised use of pain relievers can create problems that are far more serious than the pain you were trying to mute. Some anti-inflammatory medicines can raise blood pressure, irritate the stomach lining, increase bleeding risk, and strain the kidneys. That matters even more if you already take medication for blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, or blood thinning. Other pain medicines can cause drowsiness, constipation, confusion, or slowed reaction time, all of which increase fall risk. The deeper issue is that pain is information. When you keep silencing the signal without understanding the cause, you may delay treatment for arthritis flare patterns, nerve problems, posture issues, sleep problems, footwear problems, or medication side effects that could actually be improved. I am not saying never use pain medicine. I am saying stop letting it become invisible. If you are taking it several times a week, write down what hurts, when it hurts, and what you were doing before it started. That pattern matters. It helps you and your doctor decide whether the answer is physical therapy, a medication review, strength work, better shoes, hydration, or something else entirely. Up next is a habit that seems healthy because the food looks light, modest, and controlled, but it may be draining strength from your body year after year. Number 3. Stop eating meals that are mostly soft carbohydrates and calling them enough. This happens constantly. Toast and jam for breakfast, crackers and soup for lunch, a little pasta or rice for dinner, maybe some fruit, maybe a cookie with tea. None of that sounds outrageous, and that is why it slips past people. The problem is not that these foods are forbidden. The problem is that when most meals are built around easy, low-protein carbohydrates, the body gets quick energy, but not enough material to maintain muscle, steadiness, and recovery. After 60, muscle loss speeds up unless you give the body a reason and the raw materials to keep it. If meals stay too soft, too light, and too low in protein, the legs weaken first. Standing from a chair gets harder. Stairs feel steeper. Bags feel heavier. One illness, one hospital stay, or 1 week of bed rest can suddenly expose how little reserve strength is left. There is also a blood sugar issue. Meals based mostly on refined carbohydrates can digest quickly, leading to larger spikes and drops in energy. That pattern often gets described as, "I just crash in the afternoon," when the real cause may be hiding on the plate. Start looking at meals through a different lens. Where is the protein? Where is the fiber? Where is the food that actually lasts? Eggs, yogurt, beans, fish, chicken, cottage cheese, tofu, and nuts can all help, depending on your needs. You do not need a bodybuilder diet. You need enough nourishment to support the body you have now. And number 2 may be the most underestimated habit in this entire countdown because millions of older adults think it is harmless relaxation. Number 2, stop using television as the way you recover from the day. Rest matters. Nobody is arguing with that. But there is a difference between true recovery and hours of passive sitting with the mind overstimulated and the body completely still. Many adults over 60 finish dinner, settle into a chair, turn on the television, and remain there for 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours with very little movement. The body reads that pattern differently than you think. Muscles switch off, circulation slows, blood sugar handling worsens after the evening meal, the spine stiffens, the hips tighten, the neck stays fixed. Then, just when the body should be gliding towards sleep, the brain is still processing noise, bright light, and emotional input from news, crime shows, or fast-moving stories. People often tell me they are resting all evening and still waking up tired. This is one reason why. Real recovery usually includes some quiet movement, some change in posture, and a gradual lowering of stimulation before bed. Try interrupting evening television every 30 minutes. Stand up, walk to another room, stretch your calves, roll your shoulders. If you watch the news, do not let it be the final thing your nervous system absorbs before sleep. Give yourself a wind-down period with softer light and less agitation. That small shift can improve sleep depth, morning energy, and even blood pressure patterns overnight. If you have made it this far, stay with me, because number 1 is the habit that sounds the most reasonable, the most disciplined, and the most dangerous when it becomes automatic. This is the one I wish more people would stop today. Number 1, stop dismissing new symptoms as just part of getting older. I want you to listen carefully to this, because in real life, this is the habit that delays care more than almost anything else. A little more shortness of breath on the stairs, swelling at the ankles by evening, a new tremor in the hand, pressure in the chest after meals, feeling suddenly wiped out halfway through the day, becoming less steady in the shower, waking up confused, losing appetite for no clear reason. Too many older adults answer these changes the same way. I am just getting older. I do not want to make a fuss. It will probably pass. That mindset feels tough. It feels dignified. It feels unselfish. But sometimes it allows quiet problems to grow until they are no longer quiet. Heart rhythm changes, medication reactions, early infection, circulation problems, anemia, worsening heart failure, blood sugar swings, and kidney trouble do not always arrive with dramatic warning signs. Often they whisper first. The goal is not panic. The goal is attention. Your body is giving you information, and after 60, that information deserves more respect, not less. Start a simple symptom log. Write down what you felt, when it started, how long it lasted, and what else was happening around that time. If the same symptom shows up more than twice, or if it is severe, new, or frightening, bring it up promptly. Do not wait months simply because you do not want to bother anyone. Early conversations create options. Late conversations create emergencies. There is wisdom in endurance, yes, but there is also wisdom in noticing patterns before they become crises. That is not weakness, that is good judgment. One reason these habits are so dangerous is that they rarely cause instant consequences. They work slowly. They drain a little strength, interrupt a little sleep, create a little more swelling, add a little more hesitation to each step. Because the change is gradual, people adapt to it instead of questioning it. They stop carrying laundry upstairs. They avoid evening walks. They choose chairs with arms because standing has become harder. They stop going out after dark because balance feels uncertain. Then one day the life they are living has become much smaller, and they cannot point to the exact moment it happened. That is why I want you to think in terms of preserving capacity, not just avoiding illness. Can you rise from a chair without using your hands? Can you turn your head without losing balance? Can you walk through your kitchen without touching the counter for support? Can you get through the afternoon without feeling completely spent? These are not minor details. They are early measures of independence. The good news is that the body still responds, even later in life, when you give it clearer signals and better routines. Better light in the morning, better pacing when you stand, better support under your feet, better attention to pain, meals, rest, and symptoms. None of that is glamorous, but it is powerful. Health after 60 is often protected less by dramatic interventions than by ordinary decisions repeated long enough to become your new normal. That is why the safest plan is not waiting for a crisis to force change. Choose one habit, practice it daily, and let consistency do the heavy lifting. The strongest protection for aging well is not perfection. It is catching the quiet leak early, before it becomes a flood while you can. So here they are again. Stop avoiding morning sunlight. Stop standing up too fast. Stop wearing unsafe slippers and shoes inside the house. Stop leaning on over-the-counter pain medicine without tracking why you need it. Stop building meals around soft carbohydrates while forgetting protein and fiber. Stop using television as your main form of recovery every night. And above all, stop explaining away what your body is trying to tell you. None of these changes requires perfection. They require awareness. They require small decisions made consistently. 10 minutes of daylight, a pause before standing, better footwear by the bed, a note about your pain, more protein on the plate, a movement break during television, a written record of symptoms instead of a silent guess. The truth is that life after 60 is not only about avoiding decline, it is about protecting independence, preserving confidence, and keeping the ability to do ordinary things without fear. To walk across a room steadily, to get up from a chair without struggle, to sleep deeply enough that morning feels like morning again, to notice a warning sign early enough to do something about it. Start with one change today, not all 7 at once. If you found yourself in more than one of these habits, that does not mean you have failed. It means you have something useful to adjust, while it can still make a real difference. Share this with someone who needs it. And if this helped you, subscribe to Wellness Daily and tell me in the comments which habit you are stopping first. Your future self may benefit more than you can see tonight.